Okay, so you've sent us this really interesting PDF. It's titled Comprehensive Applications of Shaolin Chin Na, The Practical Defense of Chinese Seizing Arts for All Style.pdf.
Right. Yeah, it's quite the document.
And that's exactly what we're going to deep dive into today. The mission, basically, is to pull out the most, interesting and useful bits about Chin Na from this guide.
Give people a real feel for it.
Exactly. So you
Yeah.
can get a solid grasp of what it's all about.
Think of it like a guided tour through Qin Na. We'll hit the main ideas, some key applications, key essentials.
And the author, Dr. Jwing-Ming, he's got quite the background, right?
Oh, definitely. Started wushu way back, I think it was 1961.
Yeah, and spent, 13 years dedicated to learning several styles?
Shaolin White Crane, Long Fist, Tai Chi Quan. Yeah, the whole deal. Plus, like, over 25 years teaching experience. Purdue, Boston.
Mm-hmm.
He's been around.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really key, I think, is that he mastered both Southern and Northern styles.
Right, which gives him a really well-rounded perspective. You don't always see that.
No, you don't. And he's clearly passionate about, sharing Chinese culture through martial arts in the West.
Absolutely. And the book even has forewords from Grandmaster Li Mao Cheng and Master Liang Shoyu. That says something right there.
Huge names.
Mm-hmm.
It really underscores that Qin Na isn't some minor footnote. It's historically significant, central to the arts.
They definitely emphasize that. And Dr. Yang, he starts off by defining Chin Na pretty clearly.
Yeah, he gives a good picture.
Okay, let's unpack this. Chin Na literally translates to seize and control.
Mm-hmm.
He uses these strong images like an eagle grabbing a rabbit,
Right.
or, a policeman catching someone.
Right. It's about getting control of the opponent's body. Simple idea, complex execution.
And it's one of the, three main pillars in most Chinese martial arts, right?
Typically, yeah. You've got your striking and kicking, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Then shuai jiao, which is the wrestling, the takedowns, disrupting balance.
Okay.
And then there's Qin Na, focusing specifically on control through manipulating joints, muscles, tendons.
Mm-hmm.
It's that control aspect.
So less about brute force, more about technique and hitting those vulnerabilities.
Precisely. And the book breaks Qin Na down into 6 main categories. We should probably touch on those.
Yeah, let's list them out. It gives a sense of the scope.
Okay, so we've got dividing the muscle tendons, that's fen jin or zua jin. Then misplacing the bones, quell gu.
Ooh, sounds painful.
Yeah. Then sealing the breath, bai yi. Pressing vein or artery dian mai, duan mai, tian su.
Right.
Then pressing the qi channel or cavity dian mai again, or dian su, zuija. And finally, grabbing tendon zuijin, sometimes seen as separate.
Wow. Okay. Very specific areas.
Weird.
So our plan for this deep dive is to explore the theories behind these, the principles.
And crucially, look at some practical examples. How does this stuff actually work against different attacks?
Perfect. That's what people want to know.
Exactly. Theory is great, but seeing it applied makes it real.
All right, let's jump into the general concepts and theory first. Dr. Yang makes a key point early on, that even though techniques might look different style to style,
The underlying theories, they're pretty consistent.
yeah, and understanding those core principles is vital for developing your skill.
Absolutely.
Mm.
If you don't get the fundamentals, the book says your Qin Na just won't develop properly. You hit a ceiling.
And it's not like there's one magic technique for everything, right? He stresses that.
Oh, definitely not. It's all about reacting,
Wrong.
adapting to what the opponent does. Because they aren't just going to stand there and let you apply a lock.
No kidding. Needs to be adaptable, fast, effective.
And surprise. That's huge, especially for techniques involving grabs, if they see it coming.
Forget it.
Yeah, pretty much. The book even says if they anticipate the grab, you might need to switch tactics fast, maybe go for a cavity strike instead.
Like a constant chess match, always adapting.
Mm-hmm. And another thing he mentions is how techniques often blend categories. It's not always neat boxes.
Right. Like one move might mess with the joint and tear a muscle.
Exactly. Misplacing the bone and dividing the muscle working together. Makes sense, right? Maximize the effect.
Definitely. Okay, let's break down those 6 categories a bit more. First one, dividing or grabbing muscle tendon. Fen jin, zhua jin. You said jin is tendon or muscle.
Right. Tendon, sinew, muscle, the general connective tissue idea. So these techniques, they aim to cause pain by, well, tearing or aggressively manipulating those tissues.
But it's more than just pain, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Muscles have nerves, obviously, but also lots of these key channel branches, according to traditional Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
So damaging the muscle doesn't just hurt.
It affects the nerves, maybe the key flow.
Exactly. It can disrupt the nervous system and potentially affect qi circulation, which
Yeah.
is linked to organ function and TCM. It's all interconnected.
The book even mentions something about passing out from extreme pain,
Yeah.
like a protective shutdown.
Yeah, it suggests the brain might trigger unconsciousness to limit overall activity, reduce key circulation, and prevent further damage. Pretty wild protective mechanism.
Wow.
And the book points out Jin grabbing the tendon is big in styles like eagle claw and tiger claw.
Yep.
And while it's often lumped with Jin, some see it as distinct. The way you grab versus divide can be different. There are diagrams in the book too showing the biceps and stuff, helps visualize the targets.
Good. Okay, next. Misplacing the bone. Kwogu? This sounds unpleasant.
Uh-huh. It's exactly what it sounds like. Targeting the joints,
Yeah.
bending or twisting them the wrong way.
Against their natural movement.
Right. The book shows a joint diagram bones, ligaments connecting them, tendons attaching muscle, force a joint backward, twist it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You get pain, torn ligaments, maybe even bone separation at the joint,
Yeah, that'll stop someone.
for sure. And like we said before, these techniques often happen almost simultaneously with the muscle tendon ones. Hard to separate them in practice.
Makes sense. Okay, third category. Sealing the breath. By qi. Sounds like a quick fight stopper.
Potentially, yes. The goal is simply to stop the opponent from breathing in. Leads to unconsciousness pretty fast if effective.
How's it done?
3 main ways outlined. First, direct sealing of the windpipe, grabbing the throat, compressing it.
Like in the movies, but real.
Yeah, or more specifically, pressing or striking the Tiantu cavity, that little notch at the base of the throat.
Coup 22.
That's the one. Pressure there can make the throat muscle spasm and close up.
Sounds incredibly dangerous. Needs precision.
Extremely. Absolutely needs control. Second way is striking muscles around the lungs. The rib cage protects the lungs directly, right?
Right.
But some muscles, especially in the stomach area, extend beyond the ribs. Hitting those can cause painful contractions, compressing the lungs, making it hard to inhale.
Indirect pressure. Clever. And the third method.
Cavity press or striking nerve endings near the lungs, kind of under the ribs. Similar idea, but more targeted than just hitting a muscle group.
Like acupuncture points.
Basically, yeah. Hitting those specific cavities or nerves correctly can affect the qi in the muscles, causing spasms, or send a shock that makes internal muscles around the lungs contract. Generally harder to do accurately, but potentially more effective.
Man, the depth of knowledge required. Okay, fourth category. Pressing an artery. Dananmai, Duanmai Tuzai. You mentioned Danmai could be Dimmak.
Sometimes, yeah. Dian Mei means point or press, and Mai can mean key channels or blood vessels. When it's specifically blood vessels, it's often called Duan Mai, break or seal or stop.
Okay.
Or Pianshu, blood press, like if you strike the temple artery and rupture it. The book shows the Taiyang cavity on the temple and the carotid artery in the neck as examples.
So Duanmai is about messing with blood flow. How?
2 ways, striking or pressing. Striking Duan Mai aims to rupture a vessel. Instant stop in circulation. Very serious. The temple strike example fits here. Force causes muscles to tighten, rupture the artery underneath.
Lethal potential, clearly.
Absolutely. Pressing Duan Mai is about stopping or sealing circulation without necessarily rupturing, like pressing the carotid artery in the neck to cut off blood to the brain.
Again, requires extreme caution and responsibility.
Goes without saying. The book stresses the severity.
Okay, number 5. Pressing key channel cavity. Dian Shua Zua. We touched on cavities for breast sealing, but this is broader.
Much broader. Like we said, Dian Mai can also mean striking or pressing points on the qi channels. Dian Su, pressing cavity. The body supposedly has over 800 cavities on this network of meridians and vessels.
All connected to organs with key flowing and rhythms.
That's the traditional theory. Daily, seasonal flows. Acupuncture uses this knowledge for healing, right? Qi well, it uses it for control or disruption.
Flipping the script.
Pretty much. Dian Su is about messing with the opponent's qi circulation via these points. The book mentions 108 key cavities.
108. Specific.
Yeah, and it even breaks them down. 36 supposedly capable of causing death, 72 causing numbness or unconsciousness.
Whoa.
But to use them effectively, you need serious knowledge. Timing of qi flow in that channel, the Ziwulu Zhu concept. The right striking method, the exact depth.
That sounds like years and years of dedicated study.
Decades, probably. And traditionally, this stuff was kept very secret, only taught to trusted students. It's potentially very dangerous.
Makes sense.
Though the book does mention less dangerous techniques, like Zhu grabbing the cavity for some non-lethal points. For more on Qi flow, it points to Dr. Yang's other book, Qigong Health and Martial Arts.
Good to know. And finally, the sixth category, grabbing tendons. Jin. We mentioned this with Jin. What's the distinction?
It's often grouped with Jin, yeah, but sometimes treated separately. Jin usually implies needing more focused strength, pinpoint accuracy, and intense mental focus.
More demanding.
Seems so. At higher levels, it might involve coordinating your own qi and breathing with the technique. The actual way you grab and manipulate the tendon might be subtly different from the broader muscle tendon dividing stuff.
Okay, a more focused, maybe forceful application on the tendon itself. Right, so those are the categories. Now, what about skill levels? It's obviously not just about knowing the moves.
Oh, far from it. The book makes a big point about levels of proficiency. It's judged by understanding, technical skill. The same technique can look completely different depending on who's doing it.
How can you tell the difference? What are the signs?
Well, beginners often use stiff, clumsy power. Techniques end up slow, maybe poorly angled.
Right.
Experts look soft, yielding almost. But the result is fast, sharp, effective. Finding the right angle for the lock is another thing. Novices fumble around.
Trial and error?
Exactly.
Check.
Experts find it almost instinctively. Comes from months, years of practice on just one technique. That instinct, that smoothness, it lets them be fast. Beginners often try to compensate with muscle, which just slows them down.
Efficiency versus brute force.
Precisely. And the book ranks the categories by difficulty, too.
Oh, yeah. How does that break down?
Generally, dividing muscle tendon and misplacing bone are seen as the easiest to start with. Learnable, applicable relatively quickly. Grabbing tendon is harder, needs more strength, precision, focus.
Right.
Sealing vein arteries, third. Some neck techniques are straightforward, but others need special training. And the hardest.
Gotta be the cavity pressing.
Yep. Pressing cavity Chin Na. Needs deep knowledge locations, hand techniques, timing, key flow. Getting the power depth just right. Requires years of Jin training.
So a definite progression, but complexity isn't always better, right?
Absolutely not. The book stresses this. Simple, fast techniques are often way more effective in a real situation than some fancy, complicated move that takes too long. Speed and effectiveness are what count.
And it's all happening live against someone resisting.
Exactly. That mutual angle between you and the opponent is everything. An experienced person feels you setting up a lock, they'll move, counter, disrupt your angle.
So speed is critical.
Vital. The longer you take, the more chance they have to escape or turn the tables. The book even describes two Chin Na experts practicing its just constant flow. Attack, counter, counter the counter.
Wow.
Reaching that level. Years of practice, tons of experience. It's reactive.
A continuous feedback loop, sensing, reacting, adapting. And the training itself follows a specific progression.
Yeah, a traditional path.
Yeah.
First, regulate the body. Get the angles right, the posture, the stability, physical foundation.
Makes sense.
Then regulate breathing. Helps with power, coordination. Next, regulate the mind. Develop focus, concentration to guide your ki. Activate muscles effectively. There's a saying, Vi arise, ki also arise. Mind leads the energy.
Mind-body connection.
Totally. Only after mastering body, breath, mind, chi, then you cultivate the spirit of controlling. The highest level. The book suggests the root of Chinese Qigong for more on this internal-external stuff.
A really holistic way to build skill. Okay, let's talk benefits. Why train Chin Na? It's clearly more than just physical self-defense.
Well, way more. The book points out several big ones beyond just technique. Mental endurance, for one. Building a strong will.
How so?
Well, Chin Na practice can be tough. Physically demanding, sometimes painful with the joint locks, mentally frustrating when things don't work.
Pushing through discomfort.
Exactly, you learn to handle it. The book connects this to Chinese philosophy, the emotional mind. Qin, driven by desires, versus the wisdom mind. Vi, understanding right and wrong. The internal conflict. Right. Chin Na training is seen as a discipline to strengthen that wisdom mind, to guide the emotional one. Builds willpower by facing challenges, physical and mental. It's self-discipline leading to self-awareness.
That's a deep take on martial arts toughness. What else?
Understanding the human chi body, especially for those cavity press techniques, grabbing, striking, pressing to affect chi, you need to understand how ki is distributed, the timing, the depth.
Sensitivity to the energy body.
The book contrasts Western medicine's focus on the physical body with TCM's focus on the Qi body, suggesting knowing both is beneficial for health. Again, recommends the root of Chinese Qigong.
Okay, what else?
Cultivating mental balance, stability, center, root. Big emphasis here. Mental balance comes first. Scattered mind leads to physical imbalance.
Makes sense.
Developing mental firmness, stability, a sense of being centered and rooted. This builds a strong spirit. In Chin Na, especially takedowns, you learn to solidify your center while finding and disrupting theirs. Understanding that interplay helps you destabilize their spirit, mess up their coordination.
Mind, body, spirit working together. Any purely physical benefits mentioned?
Yep. According to TCM and Qigong, properly stimulating the body improves blood and Qi circulation, better health, more strength, endurance.
Like internal exercise.
Kind of.
Yeah.
The book compares the joint twisting and stretching in Chin Na to yoga. It says it stimulates the joints deeply, maintains strength and flexibility, calls it one of the best ways to stretch joints based on practitioner experience. And finally, it just reiterates the coordination between mental and physical centers that develops with practice.
So it really is a whole body, whole mind training system. Okay, let's get practical. The book has a whole chapter on Chin Na against barehand attacks. This is probably the most common scenario people think about.
Absolutely. The book calls it the most fundamental, common type of conflict. It breaks down techniques based on open-hand attacks, chops, palm strikes, fist strikes, systematic.
Let's take an example against an open hand attack. First one mentioned is White Crane nods its head by He Dian Tao. What's the situation?
Opponent extends their right hand, palm open, coming towards you.
Okay.
The technique: you step your left leg outside their right leg. Simultaneously, your right hand grabs their fingers and presses them sharply down.
The angle is important.
Crucial. Keep pressing until the back of their palm is bent way down. Once that lock is set, you immediately press down and lead them. Don't just pull down towards the ground. Your left hand controls their head, maybe grabbing hair.
Lead them down. Interesting.
Yeah, lead down and forward. Then maybe a circular motion to break their balance more. If the angle's right, you shouldn't need tons of force. If your grip isn't strong, use both hands for the lock. And the key principle: step beside their leg first to disrupt their root, then apply the downward pressure. Makes it way easier.
Smart. Very efficient. Are there variations or follow-ups?
Oh yeah. Once you have the right hand locked, your left hand could grab and squeeze the tendon in their shoulder, immobilizes the arm.
Oh.
Or left hand grabs hair, pulls head back, forces them down if hair's too short. Left hand or forearm pushes their throat or neck back, while your left leg sweeps the right leg forward. Takedown.
Multiple options. What if you can't control the hand effectively?
Last resort. The book says, use your left fist. Strike vulnerable points eye, temple. But it warns the temple, Taiyang point, can be lethal. Artery there.
Yeah.
Jaw, Jiashta point, can cause unconsciousness. So serious caution. Or you could grab tendons under the armpit or on the sides of the waist.
So primary technique, but backup plans and escalations. Got it.
Another one.
White Crane covers its wings. By Heian Chi. What's this one?
This focuses on a pinky finger tendon lock. You grab their fingers, rotate their hand to your right, bend the fingers back to lock that pinky tendon.
Just the pink.
Seems to be the main target here. While doing that, step your left leg back behind the right leg. Use the inside of your left elbow to lock and lift their elbow. Your left hand helps increase the pressure on the pinky tendon.
Positioning is key.
Yeah. Get outside the reach of their other hand. Keep increasing pressure on the pinky until their heels lift. Stops them kicking you. The principle is dividing the muscle tendon of the pinky. Again, relies on getting the angle just right.
Amazing how specific these targets can be. Okay. Arm wraps around the dragon's neck. Be Chan Long Ling. Sounds dramatic.
It is. Grab their right fingers with your right hand. Twist, bend them. Step your left leg outside their right. Place their right elbow against your stomach. Helps lock the pinky tendon. Then circle your left arm around their neck, locking them upwards.
Sounds like a choke.
It can be. The book gives a serious warning. Increasing pressure with the circling arm can seal the carotid artery, cuts off oxygen to the brain, potentially fatal, last resort only.
Right. Control, but with that dangerous potential always there. Okay. Pressing shoulder with a single finger and extending the neck for water. Easy ding jing and yin jing qi shui. Sounds like pressure points again.
Definitely. Grab and twist their hand.
Yeah.
Immediately push their arm up into your right. Coil your left hand around their elbow area to secure the arm.
Got it locked.
Yep. Then lift the arm, increase the shoulder pain, while using your index finger to press the Jianning cavity, MUE48.
Where's that, roughly?
On the shoulder area. Create significant pain. Keep lifting until their heels come up. Alternatives: push their chin up or up and left, grab their hair, pull it towards you, intensifies the pain.
And for a takedown.
Press your left hand down while lifting your left elbow, more shoulder pain, and step your right leg back in a circle, brings them down, maintains the lock. It notes these techniques often hit spots where ligaments connect bones or where major nerves are near the surface. Natural weak points.
Exploiting anatomy. Smart. Last open hand one for now. Large python turns its body. Damang fan shen.
There are a couple of versions in the book. Against an open hand, lock their pinky and right elbow. Step your left leg outside their right. Coil your left hand around their right arm. Then step your right leg, turn your body. Keep the lock on pinky and elbow. Your left hand helps control the elbow during the turn. Finish by pressing their wrist and elbow down, locking them on the ground.
Okay. A body-turning takedown based on those initial locks. You mentioned the same name for a chopping attack defense.
Yeah, slightly different setup. Against a left chop, grab their left fingers with your right hand, circle them down, twist counterclockwise, step your left leg outside their left, push your left forearm up against their elbow, keep rotating your body, use your left hand to push their elbow, right hand lifts theirs. After they're down, step your right leg back, pull their elbow towards you with your left hand, keep twisting their fingers with your right. Prevents them rolling.
So using their momentum, targeting weak points like fingers and elbow, leverage, seems to be the thing.
Oh, absolutely. The book covers palm strikes and fist strikes too, to the head, chest, abdomen, loads of examples.
We probably can't cover them all, but any highlights? Fist to the head.
Techniques like Luohan bows, Shaolin Chin Na. Evan King supports the pagoda, Shangyo-zu. Usually involve deflecting the punch, grabbing the wrist, controlling the elbow, stepping to break balance, applying a lock, often a takedown. Send the devil to heaven. Song Mo Shan Qian comes up a lot. Grab wrist, rotate body, downward twisting lock. Theory-wise, often misplacing the bone, elbow, shoulder, or dividing muscle tendon, wrist, forearm.
And punches to the chest. Similar ideas.
Pretty much. Another version of Luohan bows, maybe intercept, control wrist and elbow, use stepping and bowing posture to unbalance, then lock or takedown. Maintaining your position to avoid their free hand is emphasized. Single hand to support the heavens, Shangyo-zu, deflects a downward punch, then uses upward pressure on their elbow, downward on their wrist, locks the arm up.
Okay. What about a punch to the gut? Abdomen strikes.
Against a straight punch. Two children worship the Buddha, Shuang Tonga Bai Fam. Step back, deflect, grab wrist, use your arm against the tendon behind their upper arm, bow forward to increase pressure.
And an uppercut.
Feudal Lord lifts the tripod, Ba Wang Tai Ding. Intercept elbow and forearm, push their elbow forward, rotate their forearm back, creates a lock. Again, notice the target's gems, tendons, places where nerve vessels are superficial. It's calculated.
Definitely seeing the patterns, consistent principles, adapted. Okay, what about Chin Na against blocking? Makes sense an attacker would try to block.
Right, and the block itself often creates the opening for Chin Na. Physical contact, maybe a temporary imbalance. That's the moment to transition. The book organizes techniques based on how they block, right arm blocks, right attack to the right or to the left, etc.
Can you give an example? Say they block my right punch with their right forearm.
Okay, so they block. You immediately hook your right hand down, grab their right wrist, left hand pushes their right elbow straight. At the same time, step your left leg behind their right leg, disrupts their balance.
Got it.
Then, using leverage from both hands, lock their arm upward. Keep going till their heels lift. You could even apply a sharp jerk chin, potentially break the elbow if needed. That's Heaven King supports the pagoda, Shangyo-zu theory. Misplacing the bone, shoulder, elbow. Book notes, it works best if their arm isn't fully straight or fully bent when you apply it.
So the block isn't the end, it's the start of the Chin Na. Clever. What about kicks? Different dynamic there.
Very different. High kicks, the book says, are risky for the kicker. Exposes the groin, messes up balance, makes takedowns effective. Double high kicks, much harder to counter with Chin Na.
Okay, so single high kick to the face.
Techniques like leg sweeps with 1,000 pounds, Ju Sao Qian Jun. Basically, duck under the kick, immediately sweep their standing leg. Bam.
Simple and effective.
Or left lift and right press, Zuti Yutui. Shift outside their kicking leg, lift their kicking leg at the knee, push their thigh or the upper body, they lose balance, fall.
Right. What about middle or low kicks?
Mid-body kicks. Lift the leg and push the neck, Tai Liao Tuling. Get outside the kick, hook their kicking leg with your arm, step in close, push their upper body back, sweep their standing leg.
Lots of leg hooking and sweeping.
Yeah. Or the hands push Hua Mountain, Shou Tui Huoshen. Side step, then use both hands, forceful push to their upper chest. For low kicks, the hands drag the cow's leg, Shou Tui Tubi. Step back, Evade, grab their ankle firmly with both hands, press down on their thigh to unbalance, swing your leg out and down. Takedown,
Grabbing the ankle seems key.
definitely. Grab the ankle and twist. Zuan Yu Jiao is another grab ankle twist. Principles: dividing muscle tendon, ankle, and misplacing bone.
Yeah.
Leads against someone just standing firm, maybe offensively. Leg wraps around the dragon's leg. Jiao Chan Long Tui. Leg presses the dragon's leg. Tui Long Tui. These lock and take down someone who isn't moving much, often right after you intercept a hand attack.
So adapting Qin Na principles to the specific vulnerabilities of kicking makes sense. Okay, moving to more dangerous territory, knife attacks. Book emphasizes the increased danger.
Hugely. Speed, accuracy, even more critical now. And it gives some stark advice about guns at a distance. Don't fight back unless you're sure they'll shoot anyway. Your life first.
Prudent. Basic training principles against a knife.
Two main things: escaping the attack line and intercepting the wrist hand.
Escaping first.
Yeah, dodge back, or preferably dodge sideways. Sideways lets you potentially circle them, counter. Backing up can trap you. Practice with a rubber knife, different partners, get used to angles, timing.
Develop reflexes.
Right. Once you can escape, okay. Practice intercepting, slapping, or pushing their wrist hand. How you intercept depends on their grip. Book shows different grips, best counters for each.
So evade, then intercept if possible.
Exactly. And be resourceful. Use what's available. Belt, jacket, even a shoe. Wrap clothes around your forearm for some protection. Use it to deflect. Practical stuff.
Very important point. Okay, last big section of techniques. Kun Nam against grabbing, super common confrontation type.
Yeah, very practical chapter. It's broken down by grab type. Wrist grabs, opposite side, same side. Arm grabs, shoulder grabs, front, rear, same side. Chest grabs, front, behind. Shirt grabs from rear. Neck grabs, front, rear. Belt grabs, bear hugs, hair grabs. Comprehensive.
Wow, covers pretty much everything.
For each type, it gives specific Qin Na techniques, detailed steps, body position, hand moves, grabbing, twisting, coiling, pressing, leg moves, stepping, sweeping, target areas, wrist, elbow, shoulder, neck, fingers, tendons, cavities, lots of named techniques.
Can you give a couple of examples just to illustrate? Opposite wrist grab.
Okay, the right hand grabs your right wrist. Technique. White ape worships the Buddha, Fan Yawan. Rotate your arm, grab their wrists with your free hand. Use pressure and stepping back to take them down. Often targets the pinky tendon.
Same side wrist grab. Their right grabs your right.
Lion shakes its head. She's Xiao Tao. Grab their hand with your free hand. Step correctly. Use the circling motion to pressure their elbow and wrist. Control lock.
Shoulder grab from the front.
Two children worship the Buddha, Chuang Tong Bai Fa. Again, step behind them, grab wrist. Use other arm against the tendon behind their upper arm. Bow forward. Pain destabilize.
Grabbed around the neck from behind.
White tiger turns its head, Sheng Chanzu. Step forward, grab their wrist, twist it, coil other hand around their elbow, push up, use first hand to pressure their neck for leverage. And for all these, it specifies the theory: dividing muscle tendon, misplacing bone, sealing breath artery, or just takedown.
Amazing variety tailored to each specific hold. The book even has offensive Qin Na. Who uses that?
Briefly mentions it's relevant for security, police. People needing control without necessarily causing major injury. Examples: upper hook dividing, Sheng Diaofen, targets finger elbow approaching from behind, and arm wraps around the dragon's neck. Again, offensive use for quick neck arm control.
Control and restraint tools for professionals.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have covered a ton of ground here. Really deep dive into Qin Na based on this source.
We really have. What strikes me most is that core emphasis. Skillful control, leverage over brute strength. It's about deeply understanding anatomy, body mechanics, maybe even qi, to neutralize threats effectively.
And just the sheer breadth of techniques for so many different situations. Grabs, strikes, kicks.
It's a vast system. We've barely scratched the surface, honestly.
Definitely feels that way. But hopefully for our listeners, this gives a solid foundation. Maybe you want to explore specific techniques we mentioned, or just understand the principles of Chinese martial arts better.
Absolutely. It should give a good framework for understanding this art of seize and control.
So here's a final thought to chew on. Considering the really intricate knowledge, the dedicated practice needed for mastery, how might understanding these Qin Age principles, leverage, control, finding vulnerabilities, how might that extend beyond just physical self-defense? Could it offer maybe new perspectives on control and awareness in other parts of life?
Interesting question. Something to think about.